The comics, born between the Great Depression and World War II, superheroes colonized comic book, radio, television, and film, becoming a domestic industry. They all represent the strength and power of America, democratic and advocating freedom. The American people admire heroes often representing the American ideal and the protector of the homeland and the widow and the orphan. First, through their extraordinary power of collective service, superheroes allow the people to escape in time of crisis, fighting against enemies coming from within the USA as dishonest employers, violent husbands, or scammers. It's only between 1939 and 1940 that the streets arrived from outside the country. Effectively, in 1939, the comic progressively go to war and helped to forge a strong common imaginary centered on the defense of the nation and American values, courage and hope. Comics become a very effective means of propaganda. So, World War II really accompanied the development of the genre. The US military is the largest buyer of comics to satisfy a soldier. During this period, we find black superheroes fighting for the glory of America against the Nazis and the communists. The most emblematic figure is surely Captain America. The superhero, who wore a costume inspired by the American flag, becomes the patriotic emblem of America, and he fights against Hitler. To symbolize the brave effort made by the woman, Wonder Woman was created. During the interwar period, superheroes were created to support the American population. But at the end of the 50s, the superhero success is gone. Therefore, the villains were created and superheroes have been rehabilitated. Today, superheroes are no longer used as propaganda, but as a cultural entertainment in the arts, film, and literature. The African American people have not had an easy life. First slave, they were able over time to be accepted by the white population, but it had not been without difficulties. Following the British colonization, the first black slaves arrived on the American ground. Poorly fed and housed, they used them to harvest plantations as domestic servants. 250 years later, the Emancipation Proclamation put an end to slavery. However, the former slaves were not welcomed and suffered unemployment or poorly paid jobs. Later, the Ku Klux Klan was created. Black Americans had become second-class citizens, but they couldn't be mixed with white. The Black Hope is beginning to emerge in the churches where they gathered. The church is a PR for blacks, is the only institution totally owned by them and where people can express themselves freely. Following the arrest of Rosa Parks, an association headed by the pastor Martin Luther King was created. In the 70s, the white and black are separated and black population moved away, creating ghetto. November 4, 2008 will remain in the memory as one of the greatest moments in the history of the United States. The American people elected for the first time a black president. Somehow, the victory of president put an end to the centuries-old ideology of white superiority, but inequalities between population perdures. We can speak of a first Americanization during the Second World War, when the Americans liberated France, bringing with them the Marshall Plan. During the interwar, the influence is limited to few areas, such as jazz, comics, and more particularly cinema. American music was exported to Europe essentially from the 20th century. This is one of the richest in the world. It has several musical styles, like for instance, blues, jazz, rock and roll, rap, pop, country, hip-hop, and so on. Nowadays, the music coming from the US has a strong impact on young people who are inspired to their fashion, hairstyle, jewelry, like a dream lifestyle. Following the birth of Hollywood in 1913, the American cinema shaped the world cinema. After World War II, the French film industry was in crisis. Currently, the number of American movies released in France isn't limited anymore. Television plays an essential role in the spread of the culture. Also, the fact that it is free and affordable for everyone is considered as the first instrument that contributes to spread the American culture. US product mass consumption starts in late 19th century with cigarettes, chocolate, and chewing gum. Today's society no longer the same lifestyle as 30 years. Effectively, people stop eating at home for lunch, and fast food handily follows us every day. Children, teenagers are fond of this new type of catering. The US has an influence of the French lifestyle due to the strong presence of the culture, but also to the media that affect the youth.